Folks, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and today what we are going to do is make a button bracelet using this big pretty button and beads from our Softflex Design Challenge Kit, Deco the Halls. So let's turn down and I will show you what we're going to do, and I think you're going to like it. So I've got some black onyx Softflex beading wire. I decided to use this rather than the champagne because most of this is black, though there is a little bit of beige and white in there, but it's mostly black, so we'll just use the black wire. And we're going to cut a pretty good sized length because we're going to have to not only build our bracelet, but we have to make our button loop at the other end. So I'm going to cut off about so much. This is, in case you are wondering, a little over a foot, probably 12.5 to 13 inches. This is not an exact amount that we need, it's just a good idea. So what we're going to do is we have all these tiny little number 11s, seed beads. Oops. And the first thing we want to do is put a crimp on our wire. And then a few seed beads. I didn't think to check to see if these seed beads were going to be big enough to take a double wire. Let's check that out right now. They are not. So we're going to do a little bit of a difference right here. And what we're going to do is get a couple of larger seed beads out. I'll be right back. Okay, I've got 4 number 6s, 2 for this side, 2 for the other side. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this, then we're going to put, and then another crimp. So then we'll put this through the shank of our button, and then we're going to come back and go through the crimp, the seed bead, and then the other crimp. We'll pull her up relatively tight. Not all the way tight. We want to have some movement near our button. So we'll just push that up somewhat and let it have a little movement there. Then we're going to get our magical crimpers, and we're going to crimp this right here. Move the bead and the other one up. Then we'll crimp the second one. Now this makes a big, good, strong crimp here at this end to protect this particular from any sliding. So now we're going to get this in here. We're not going to take it quite all the way up to the bead because I'm going to put one more seed bead on. So now that we're here, we're going to start our pattern. Now I'm going to move these out of the way because we won't need them until we get way up to the other side. But we are going to go with our silver spacer, then a pearl, then this gold spacer, and this black octagon, the silver corrugated, then the barrel, another silver corrugated, the fan facing inward, then we're going to have this gold one here, and the black focal. So that's what she's going to look like. We'll just follow the opposite, the pattern the other way. So we are going to go with the gold, our fan. Now we're going to face the opposite direction so that our fans are facing into our focal. Now that we have all of our beads strung, we need to start making our loop for our button. So in order to do that, what we want to do is we're going to put on a black bead, the spacer, black bead, spacer. Now we used those beads because remember, these little black ones would not go on the wire wouldn't go through them. So now we just need to make a loop using all these tiny beads big enough for the button to go through. So we'll just start feeding beads on here. Baby. Now this is going to pull down around like this, but see, it's way too small still. What we need is our button is about a little over 1 inch across. So we need at least 2 inches, and we probably need about 2 1/4 at least, because we're going to have to go across the sides as well. So how much do we have here? Well, I think we need at least a 1/2 inch more, if not a full inch more. Baby. I don't think long enough yet. Let's see how long it is. A little over 2. So we need, I think, just a little bit more. Now I am going to drop this through here. Just so we can see about how long it is. As you can see, we still need a few more beads. Maybe 4 or 5. Let's see how long that is now. A little bit tighter there, guys. Now that's about 2.5, maybe even a little bigger than 2.5. So that should do it. So let's see. That does it just fine. In fact, it probably could do with 1 less bead. Let's try 1 off. Yeah, it's not tight, but it's goes through quite easily, though it doesn't go through too easily, if you know what I mean. So I think we're good here. So now we have to tighten all this stuff up so that it meets the rest. But we do want this to be folded when we crimp it so that we don't have it too tight. So this one keeps wanting to slide up, but in a way that's all right because we need to leave a little bit of room for our crimping pliers to come into here. So I think the first we want to do our one closest to our seed beads first. So we get in here with our crimping pliers, get it in position, and crimp. Then we're going to turn, crimp again, and keep crimping till you get it, that little round ball that's holding stuff in place there. Now we'll slide these up, and we'll get this crimp here in position and crimp. So there we go. Now I have a bigger gap here than I wanted, but we will see how big that is when we have it pulled around. And our button goes on quite well. It's not a bad gap, so we'll leave it fine. So let's pick up our extra seed beads here, and here is our bracelet all done. And there we go, all finished. And our button will go through relatively well, but not so loose that it would slip off without being worked off. There we have it. There is our button bracelet made with the big button and beads from the strand. This one, the big one, is from the strand. But most of the rest, I think, are from the kit, other than the fans. No, these are from the strand as well. So this is from Softflex Company's Deco the Halls. See how long she ended up being? Looks like she's about 7.5 to 7 3/4. There she goes. A little longer than I normally make them, but that's probably because I added those extra little tiny seed beads in there. So, well, not that little tiny, I added the 6s to give the length that we needed on to bring those together without being a problem. Now the wire is a little loose in some places, so if we wanted, we could put on a crimp cover, but I don't really want to. So there it is on. It's a little longer than I would normally wear them, but it's not bad. So if it were to slip around on your wrist, you'd have your button in the front instead of the focal here, but so it's not like it would be, ugh, that's the clasp in the back. So anyway, again, this has been Rose from In Rose's Garden, and we have been using the Softflex Design Challenge Kit, Deco the Halls, to make this lovely bracelet. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.